Cougars, Cora, Castellani hits a double. Abby Call crushes one deep to left. That ball is gone. Home run, Valley View to Neuro. Haley Copanetti wins, fire, strike free. That's her weight, strike out of the game. Ava Hazelton dealing today. Another ground out, she's done it, a no-hitter. Holy Cross, Irish make it 10 strikeout. Win league championship over Mid-Valley. Lakeland's Cameron and near steal second. She's safe, Abington's Adrianna. Conrad rounds the bases after a home run. Wow, what a hit! And Kate Reynolds rips one into the gap. She's flying around second, heading for third. Triple for Riverside. Cross the diamonds of North Fifth and Pennsylvania, where Riveries run deep, where championship dreams are built, and the next generation of softball stars rise. This is where the stories are told. From walk-off wins to dominant pitchers, to the players rewriting the record books. From Division I battles with Valley View, Abington Heights, and North Pocono, to Division II powerhouses like Holy Cross and Mid-Valley, to the Division III contenders fighting every inning, Elk Lake, Blue Ridge, Montrose, and beyond. This is the show that brings the energy, the highlights, and the woods of the game. Hosted by Jarek Yurkanin, Quick Ball, powered by Agafredo Perta, LLC. This is Napa Chronicles!
Welcome to Agapa Freedom Sports. I'm your host, Jarek Yurkanin. This is the Hail Mary Show on week 3 on a high school softball show. Today we're bringing on a couple of guests. We're bringing on North Pocono's head coach, softball coach, Joe Miraglia. Hopefully it says his name right. And then we have a softball player from Abington Heights coming on and a softball player from Valley View coming on. So let's bring on North Pocono's head coach, Joe. But before actually he's ready on here. My mistake. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing good. Doing very well.
Good. And before we get started, I would like to take the time to thank our sponsors, Andy's Pizza in Main Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania. You want some good pizza? Check out Andy's Pizza. And then Tasty Freeze Ice Cream in Eining up on Route 6 Carpenter Highway. Need some ice cream after you eat some pizza? A mile or two miles up the road or whatever? Go get some ice cream. So, Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Yeah, I see a lot of games got wiped out today because of the cold.
Yeah, we're supposed to play Valley View today, but it's rescheduled to April 11th.
Oh, April 11th. That's my birthday.
Yep. Yeah, we're playing April 11th. Hopefully it's warmer.
Yeah. What time is that being played?
1 o'clock at North Pocono.
Yeah, I was going to go cover the 11 o'clock Holy Cross game.
Is that canceled?
That was regularly scheduled that day. That's at 11. So.
Oh, on April 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're 1 o'clock at North Pocono.
Something for me to think about. Maybe go cover Holy Cross and run up there.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, that stinks. I think it's weird. Weather, it got cold today, and then it was warm all week, and then it's supposed to get warm again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're looking for Monday and Tuesday to be pretty good. Tuesday we're playing Scranton Prep at home.
Yeah, you got, you played some tough games already. So.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we played some tough games. We played a couple of really good teams. But, we're off to, it's mostly, this is all non-league stuff right now. Just trying to get things figured out and get ready for league play. Yeah,
and you really brought North Pocono back. Last year, you won a District 2 title, and that was the first time in 50 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, first time 50 years. It was exciting. We weren't expected, but evidently it came through. We worked hard, and and it paid off, and the kids won the first District 2 title in softball since 1975.
Wow, that's a really long time.
Yes.
When you see a drought like that, and then you finally got that win, hopefully many more comes.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what we're working for. We made it to the semis of the states, and we're hoping we could, one game at a time. That's the way we have to do it. One game at a time. Get ready. Each game's important, especially in league play. Like last year, and I don't think it's much different this year. I think last year Lackawanna League was the best league in the state.
I agree. I definitely
Yes.
agree with that. At least down where I live, I live in Jessup. I graduated from Lakeland in 2002, but I'm a Valley View guy now because my son attends school here, and we're very involved in the community. My wife subs at the school, but just within my few mile radius, you have Valley View who won the state championships, and up the road you have Mid Valley made to the semifinals, and you have Holy Cross. Then you got up there, No Pocono. Abington was just as good as No Pocono was, and
Definitely. They were a good team. They had, a Division I pitcher. That was great about last year, which prepared us. We faced a lot of Division I pitchers between Abington, Valley View. Even we played against Lake Lehman, Abington Heights, no doubt. So it's definitely a strong league, and should be pretty competitive again this year. So we're looking forward to it.
That's also be some nerve wracking as well, because there are a lot of very strong pitchers in the area. I have the one girl, but I don't want to. Or is it Adrianna? For Conrad from Abington. She's coming on later. She's
going to Syracuse. Yes, she's committed to Syracuse. She didn't pitch last year that much at all. Salika did most of the pitching, but that'll be a nice. That'll be a nice game. Also a very competitive game, to get into, get out of this district. That's one of the hardest things is between the league and this district, in comparisons for the states, we're very competitive here.
You never think that some of your hardest games are in your own district.
Yeah, definitely. Especially last year. There was no doubt. It was a battle just getting out of the district. So after league play, week after week battling, with some very good teams, in the Lackawanna League.
I have a question to ask. What makes her so difficult to face, and what's the challenge for your hitters going into that matchup?
Against who?
Adrianna, Conrad.
Oh, Abington?
Yeah.
The kid's very good to begin with. I mean, she's committed. Evidently, she's going to Syracuse. She works hard. So, we expect a lot from her. She has a good bat also. But we like playing, good teams with good pitchers. This makes us better. So I think it's going to be a very good competitive softball game.
You got me nervous here. I didn't realize that Sean I knew we had a lot of good softball players in the league, but that's definitely not to be nerve wracking. Makes your players better when you're facing better competition, but it's not. It's just you got to prepare more, I guess.
Oh, definitely. And I look, in our non-league games, we try to play big schools, our scrimmages. We play Easton. We're playing Pinsbury. Next Saturday, we play Liberty, down by Allentown. We did some try. We played a good Northwest team. They actually beat us. So that's what it's all about. And I think when you play them better teams, it only makes you a better team. To prepare for the big games and them games, that you have to battle, physically and mentally, and and give it your all for 7 straight innings. I think they're the ones that just make you more successful.
Well, it's definitely. You mentioned Northwest. It was a tight game. It was 4-3 loss. What did that game reveal to you about your team, and how did they respond coming right back with a win?
Yeah, it was tough because we left the bases loaded. We stranded like twice actually. We stranded 10 base runners, and they had some excellent pitching, and we pride ourselves, we have some good hitting, and we just couldn't get the hit at the right moment. We hit the ball pretty hard, we had a home run, but we hit it at them, and we just couldn't get a break. But evidently after that game, we had a little chip on our shoulder, and unfortunately our next game was against Dallas, and we kind of took it out on them a little bit and had 12 hits and 9 runs, and and played our kind of softball, between good defense. Luckily, our defense has been consistently steady so far. We had, I think, 1 error in 4 games, so we took it out and ended up beating Dallas 9-1.
Yeah, that's a good win. Dallas usually has competitive team.
Yeah, they have a nice team. They do. They hit the ball nice. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way, but we played some solid defense. We made some great plays, threw some kids out. My center fielder got one off the fence, threw a kid out at second. So things were happening that made us play hard. They played hard. They're a good team, but that day we just we had everything going in the right direction.
Yeah, I have a off topic for a moment. I actually have a connection. I had a connection from up no Pocono. My nephew Jonah Urcaning. I don't know if you heard that name before. Played soccer. Graduated 2022.
Oh yeah.
They won the state playoff game the first time in program history. He was a starter and he broke a couple records up there.
Yeah. It's a lot of good talent up at North Pocono. Definitely a lot of good talent in several sports. Evidently, this past fall, the football team did excellent. Oh, yeah. Won the league district and made a run in the states. Girls basketball, they did very well. Actually, I have a few kids on the basketball team that also play softball. So there's definitely athletes up there. They want to be coached. They definitely work hard, and there's good parents up here too. I got to give credit to the parents. They're very supportive of the coaches and lets us coach, which is important to do. So.
Yeah, Joe, you mentioned about 4-3 loss in Northwest, right? Sometimes during those tight games, like where you're forced to respond or have a walk-off hit, like we've seen too this past week. Like I ran a men's slow pitch softball game for 8 years, and there was a couple of times where we had to win the game on a walk-off, or when I helped out as an assistant, organizing a team. We don't really coach, but we do the lineups and move players around and stuff like that. Remember the one year the head coach was like, this game was really close. We have a lot of close games. We're pulling off at the end. I just don't like that. I said, hey, if you need to pull off a big win at the end and your team keeps coming up and responding when it's needed, end of the day, a win's a win, and it really shows what your team's made out of, even if you don't like those type of wins. No one does. But I think I would rather my team willing to do that, to respond when they need to, than not to respond at all when it's need to. So could you talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. We had the opportunity, especially 6th, 7th inning to tie the game. We had a kid at second base, just couldn't get that hit. But that prepares you. And games, I'd rather games like that than playing and winning 18-0 or 15-0. You really get nothing out of that, but maybe some reps. But when you play them tight games, not only physically but mentally, it challenges you and prepares you for them the big games. Last year, it happened last year too. We end up losing some tough games, but it only made us better during the course of the year. Then we won like 12 straight, and then we went into the districts. We were hot. We beat a really good Abington team. So it only makes you better and understand. And when kids get them experiences, then they get challenged and they get used to it and they know how to react to it.
Those high pressure situations.
Yeah, compared to constantly winning If you're winning games 15-0, 17-0, I'd rather have them close games and them nail biters, and hopefully we come up on top.
Coach, you're off to a strong start this season. What have you learned about your team through these first few games, and who are the North Pocono Lady Trojans right now?
Right now, that's a good question. We're 3-1. Actually 4-1, with our scrimmages. But what I've learned that this team is very competitive. They're passionate. When again, it was a non-league game against Northwest, the kids were upset, because they love what they do. They love their school. They have a lot of pride, and they love the sport, and they respect the sport. So I see it in this team, and they're very hungry. I'm still young. I only lost 2 seniors last year. I got only 3 seniors this year. I got 2 juniors, and I got 10 sophomores.
Oh, wow.
And all my pitching's young. So last year, to do what we did last year, at any given time last year, we had 5, 6 freshmen on the field. That's a big accomplishment.
That is.
So these kids are hungry, and I see it early. And to me, they're just going to get better. They're going to get better, and they're going to get more confident, and they're going to battle teams. It's going to be very competitive, and I think hopefully we're successful, and we do the things that we have to do, to get us in that position, for the playoffs.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and I always it's always a good feeling when you have like younger players on your team, freshman, sophomore. I always look at it this way: when a team's young, you have a couple more years out of them, and if they're successful now going forward, you're going to be one of the top teams, hopefully, in the area if they continue to perform, and hopefully be able to win some championships, district titles, and different things like that. So I always like the youth,
Yeah, and what's important too is all these kids want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
They want to practice. They want to play. I think some of these kids sleep with their gloves and bat at night. That's how committed they are.
I love softball.
Yeah, and when you have people around you, or kids or players around you that want to be there, it makes your job a little easier, and you could teach and teach and teach, and knowing that they want to do to get to the best they could possibly be. So that's what's fun about this group too.
Mm-hmm. So, Joe, as I mentioned, last year the program captured the District 2 championship after a long drought. How has that success carried over into the season, and what standard has that set inside your locker room? We may have mentioned some of this, your answers already on this, but you could expand if you want.
Yeah, so we believe there's a book out, it's called The Twin Thieves. It's all about leadership and how to deal with fear. So what we do is we read a chapter, maybe 2-3 chapters a week, how to play in them big games, how to deal with fear. And we also have what you call a leadership council. In our council, there's kids, there's freshmen on it, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and a captain or 2. They take turns to monitor the leadership council. Then the coach is the overall. But we keep a thumb on what's the mood for the week, what's going on. Not only at softball, what's going on pertaining to, is anything affecting what you're doing on the field, practices, so they met today. Then we try to do fun things, when they're doing this, and they're kids. Mm-hmm. So you got to have fun. They got to have fun what they're doing. So, this last week we had, a big team meal just for team bonding, and we just let kids, yes, definitely talk and so forth. Today they're talking about, hey, coach, can we go bowling? So one night we'll go bowling. Last year we did yoga, so we want to keep them, to have fun, and understand that softball's a game. Mm-hmm. It's not life itself. I'm a strong believer in sports. You learn a lot of things about life,
You do.
but it's a game. You know, it's a game, and there's other things more important than just playing this game. So we want the kids to expand on that. So it's been really good. We have a strong culture. We built a culture. We have standards, and they're growing. I have 5 captains. All my captains took leadership courses. They took leadership courses before they come to be captain. It's a 6-month course. They started in November. If they don't complete it, they can't be a captain. So, and then I quizzed them every week. You know, I took a course too. I took 3 courses. I'm still finishing 1 course, but I'll come back once a week and I'll ask them questions, you know, and they'll come back with answers based on, you know, what their program was and what it's all about. So we're building. We're constantly building. That was important last year. We started it and we kept on building. About the 6th week, I really saw things kick in. I really saw some leadership standing out. You know, and it's carrying over into this year. So
I love that. I think going back to like 2016, right around when I started like running a slope softball team, I got into like reading John Maxwell on leadership, his books and different things, and then I started reading other books about like the environment, a good environment, culture, and sports, and then all the other characteristics that's important when you're an athlete. And I applied a lot of it. You know, it's a slow pitch softball. My theory was always, if I'm going to do something, I'm there to win and then do the best I could. And so I took running a team pretty serious, and I applied all that. There's troublemakers, bad attitudes. Usually they end up quitting anyways, you know, or I push them off the team, but most of the time they quit because that comes with when you talk to them, they got mad anyways. But because that affects the whole team. I've seen, you know, in dugouts where you have the one, you know, troublemaker, I call them, and it just affects the environment. And people aren't feeling good. People aren't loose. People aren't having fun. And then you see people aren't hitting good or playing good. So, yeah, I love that stuff. I really do. That's so awesome that you're doing that and teaching them. And, yeah, that's good stuff for sure. But I'm going to, you know, wrap it up in a minute. I could talk all day with you, by the way. I love softball so much. But yeah, good luck on the season. And yeah, I could again go on and on, but we're, you know, kind of on a time limit, as I said. So good luck on the season. I'll try to cover some of your games if I could. I work second shift, so games would have to be on a Saturday for me to get to, but I could still write articles and do different things.
Do you still work at Valley View?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, do you know I'm a Valley View graduate? I live in Eining.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was the assistant Valley View softball coach at EJ Weston for like 7 years.
I didn't even know that.
Then I went to we won 2 state championships, 5 districts.
Oh wow.
You know, yeah. So, and then I went to Forest City for a couple of years after I retired from work and as a head coach, and then I went to North Pocono.
When did you go to North Pocono? A year. I didn't do too much research.
Yeah, I went to North Pocono in 23.
That's pretty amazing, though. Then you really turned around the culture, environment, and you're doing some good things up there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Really actually, when I was up at Forest City, my first 2 years, we won back-to-back district championships, the first one ever in school history. And we won back-to-back. Yeah, that program was 5-75 when I got there. And we ended up winning 2 district championships. So hopefully the same in North Pocono. I've been here, this is going on my 4th year. So, and it takes, you know, it takes some time to build a program. You know, you're lucky enough to have talent when you go in, but to get your program, you know, to your standards, to your culture, it takes a good 2-3 years to get everything adjusted and in place. And hopefully this continues at North Pocono. We just get better.
Yeah, I love that you're teaching them leadership, teaching all the good stuff that takes to build make winning programs, I guess the word you could say. And, you know, you got to get everything else right. And then everything else usually comes in line sometimes. And
well, if you ever get a chance, you're in second shift and you want to read something. It's not a big book. It's The Twin Thieves.
Yeah.
And it's all about fear, but the whole book is based on a high school football coach that won 14 state champions in a row. 14.
Message me it, like the title.
I will. I'll send you a picture of the book.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that stuff. So, but yeah, I'll bring you on again, maybe probably next year.
Yeah.
For sure. And good luck on the season.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can bring me on when we win a state championship.
Hopefully, I'll be waiting for that. I love your philosophy. Again, you're my type of guy. I love what you're doing and things you told me. So yeah, have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for having me.
Yep,
All right, be good.
you too. What's up?
Hi.
Hi. We're not recording yet. Yeah, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a player from Abington Heights. Pitcher Adrianna Conrad. I think I maybe said her name right this time. Let's see. Did I almost say it right?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, good. I'm horrible with pronouncing names, but yeah, thank you for joining us and taking the time out of your day. You had a long game today, 11 innings.
Yeah.
You must be exhausted. I wasn't even sure you're going to make it back on time. Felt like that, right?
Yeah, I think it almost went to 3 hours. It was a really long game.
Thinking we're going to have to further push start time with this. But you pulled it off. You won. That's the most important thing. And it's a long game, close game, tied up, and most important thing, your team pulled it out in the top 11, scored a couple of runs. And can you talk about that, like the game a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely think we are really excited as a team. This was our first actual game. We played two scrimmages the week before, so we were all still trying to get a feel. And this was the first game that we kept starters in the whole game. So I think everyone's still adjusting to their positions. As you know, Abington lost a ton of their starters last year, so we have a ton of new girls going to different positions than like I would usually see them in. And I think everyone's adjusting really well, especially like with our outcome today. I was really happy.
Yeah, and I was not aware of that. You have a couple new starters and a high pressure game like today, tense game. It was pretty cold out there. You said it was warmer, a little bit warmer down there, but to pull off a win like that really shows what your team is made out of, especially against a team like down there you were playing against. So that's for sure. And I'm glad you got the win. But you didn't just get a win. You had 17 strikeouts. Was that a career high for you in a game?
Oh, definitely. I usually don't throw full games, especially in travel.
Yeah.
It's just the rotations, and this is like first game for high school that I've been able to stay in for
Wow.
the long time. So yeah, that's definitely a career high for me.
How do you stay focused, especially today? It's rare where a game's going into 10 innings, 11 innings. How did you stay focused throughout the game?
I definitely was reminded of my teammates throughout the game, and they definitely pushed me through, especially towards the end when we started getting into extra innings. I definitely started to get a little tired, but I knew they were behind me and they had my back on whatever I did.
And I was watching on live stream. I loved your dugout. I'm pretty sure that was your dugout, cheering on
Yeah.
everybody, and that was very, very interesting. And it's important to have that kind of environment, cheering on your teammates and encouraging them, and being really involved. You know, I definitely picked that up as a positive. And is that something new, or have they always done that?
A little bit. So in the beginning of the game, our JV team was playing across from us, so we didn't really have a dugout. It was
Mhm.
just basically our starters, and we had a few girls for subs. But then definitely once we hit extra innings and all the girls came over, you could definitely feel the energy shift. And I feel like last year we really we kind of made that our priority, having a good dugout and good energy, because if you have that, then you're able to carry the energy through and take momentum most times.
Yeah, that's very true. Especially when you're going in those extra innings you want to keep your teammates focused and alert as well, and them knowing that their team's behind them. And that was definitely something that I really enjoyed and stuff. So today, what was working for you when you were pitching, and how did you stay locked in? Well, you already answered that, but what was working with you? What did you see
Um,
when you were pitching?
I definitely think my changeup was working today, and I was able to keep a few hitters off balance. And also, I thought I was doing well enough to get good ground outs, and then I had a great field behind me. We turned a double play, I think, during the 6th inning, where my second baseman and shortstop worked really hard to get that. Same thing, my outfield was doing great today. There was a lot of pop-ups, and I don't think there was really any balls dropped.
Sorry.
You're
Yeah,
good.
that's definitely a success. No balls dropped and no errors. Or was there any errors? I did not
No
see it.
errors.
Oh yeah, wow, that's impressive. In a cold day like today, definitely. But you got some hard games coming up this week. You got our number 1 ranked team, which they struggled against Piston area. They won last week. They had pitching trouble with Abby Call. She got taken out of the game, and then they put their backup in. In long run, I've said this to the coach and different people. It's going to work out better for Valley View, put it that way. Because now they just showed they have a backup pitcher that could pitch as well, where they don't think you just have Abby, But you got them this week. You got Holy Cross, 2 very good pitchers. But like today, high pressure situations you're in, a pretty good team you played. Mentally, leading up to those 2 games, what are you thinking? What's the goal?
I think the goal is for everyone to feel confident in what they're doing on the field. I don't want anyone to feel pressured because we're playing some better teams. I want everyone to stay as confident as they can on that field and know that it's just another game as any other game today. And I think that really showed today with a lot of our players. They were able to come in the high pressure situations and score some runs, especially when we got in extra innings.
Yeah, especially in the 11th inning, it's so easy to be like, you know what, I just want this game over with. I'm sure the umpire, is thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
definitely. I got to know umpires when I ran a slow pitch team, and it's so easy just to give in and lose focus and put your mind somewhere else, and then errors start to happen, then you're not hitting. But they really showed up today, and great win, great high pressure situation that's going to lead you up to again Tuesday and Wednesday, 2 of the top teams in the area. And I don't want to say this. Do you think, like, what's your feeling? Do you think your team could pull off those 2 wins? Like, it's a tough question. Everybody wants to win.
Yeah, I definitely think we can. This year, we really have a strong team chemistry and everyone's working together. And we also are picking each other up. And like it showed today, especially, like, even though we didn't have errors, there was a few close plays and everyone picked up each other. So I think that's definitely going to be our momentum carrying into Valley View, especially with our dugout. And same thing with Holy Cross. I feel like we could pull both off.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Now, you lost to Nopokno in the District 2 championship last year, which was definitely a shocker, in my opinion. They're a great team. I just had their head coach on, as you've seen before this. I would imagine that's your goal this year, to win the District 2 championship.
Yeah, definitely our goal still. Make it as far as we can into playoffs. I do agree that I'm not Valley View, sorry. North Pocono is a great team. I know they have a lot of younger hitters, and I think we're ready for the challenge though too with our lineup and our defense.
Yeah, I think so too. I think in the season, I think Abington, Nopokno, Valley View, Holy Cross, Mid Valley. If they all 5 teams stay focused, keep working hard, learn from the mistakes, mental errors, and just mistakes in general, and fixes them. I think we're going to be looking at those 5. I think having one of them at least. I mean, heading into the playoffs and being strong teams, and then some of them heading into state playoffs and trying to make a run. That's for sure. So yeah, I want to go back a moment on today's game, since it is your first game of the season, correct? Regular season.
Yeah, first game.
So you contribute. You're not only a good pitcher, as we've seen today, 17 strikeouts, which I really enjoyed watching you pitch. I'm like, you could probably pitch all day throwing those strikes. Yeah, that was awesome. And we're doing that in extra innings. That's definitely, a bonus and something good. So
Hmm.
you contributed at the plate too with RBIs, not just pitching dominance. How important is it for you to impact the game in multiple ways, especially in tight games like today?
I always want to help my team no matter where I am on the field, especially in the 11th inning. I threw 100 some pitches. I was done, but I knew the girl behind me, Bria. She was able to come in and close it out, but I went to first base. And I know also from like a hitting perspective, I want to try to put my team in the best position. So that's what I think about when going into the box.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's important. So take us back. Like, when did you get into softball? How old were you?
I probably was starting in like 8U or 10U around like the local leagues near me.
Wow. And were you like pressured to get into it, or did you just start naturally liking the game?
I played a ton of sports when I was younger, and I definitely felt that I love softball the most, and I've definitely carried that with me.
Yeah, softball is a good game. When did you get to a point in your career that you kind of was like, I actually could be pretty good at this? And then obviously you committed to Syracuse. Was there a point?
Definitely probably around like 12U. That's when I realized that like I'm good enough and I could play when like want to play. So I left the area and I tried to play on some better teams to see other girls at my age group and see how I compared against them too.
Yeah, I want to bring this up quickly. So I was talking to, um, Mia Gletta's father, and I was told to pass this along to. I guess Mia really respects your game, you as an athlete, um, and a lot of good thinks a lot of highly of you.
Yeah, I definitely think the same about Mia. I've seen her working out constantly, and I know we did inter squad practice with them last year, and I was just blown away. She's a great hitter, and I can't wait for her at Boston College.
Well, hopefully you both take it easy on each other if you're playing each other. But yeah, that's awesome though. Me as a Division One player, as we know, and to respect you greatly and your work ethic and your talent and all that stuff. That's definitely has to make you feel good.
Yeah, I love Mia. She's a great person too, on top of a great athlete. So I think nothing less of her.
Does Syracuse play Boston College in softball?
Yeah, they're the same conference.
Oh wow, you
Yeah,
guys
so
can.
I'll see her.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. I try to keep up um, with some local softballs more in the last 2 years. People I got to interview and like Callie Kowalski at Penn State. She's kind of some
Yep.
playing time. And then Taylor Cawley at Bimington. I'm going to be going up there, me, my wife, and son, Friday night through Sunday night. The Easter Bunny's going to have to come in the hotel for my son. He's 7 years old. So I'm gonna go cover the game Friday, Saturday, Sunday up there. And I was just telling my wife today, if because I got credentials for Bimington, they allowed me. You know how that works for Division One and stuff. You need permission. And I said, well, hopefully this is step one. I said, when you mentioned if you go to Syracuse, maybe they're allowing me to cover a game or two up there. That would be cool if they gave me permission, in 2 3 years. I would do it. It's only 2 hour drive. We drove up there in 2023 to see Clemson. I'm a Clemson fan, softball, football, and baseball and different things. And we seen one of the football games up there against Syracuse. And I like the basketball team, so it's only a 2 hour drive, 81.
Yep.
So yeah, when that point comes, that would be a lot of fun. So that's for sure. But yeah, thank you for coming on and taking the time out of your day. You must be exhausted after that long game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go take a nap after this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was crazy, but I enjoy softball. I could talk softball all day. It's something I love it so much. I say this over and over. So, but yeah, thank you for coming on and good luck on the season. And we'll see what you could do come this week against Valley View and then Holy Cross. And yeah, that's a good thing for all those three schools there because all three are some of the top teams in the area right now. So,
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
of course, and have a good night and get some sleep. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye. We're going to bring on our next guest, but before we bring her on, I mean, this has been a long, long segment. We had two guests previously. I'll just take a moment and thank our sponsors. Again, Andy's Pizza, Main Street, Peckville. They have very good pizza. I love their pizza. Check out Andy's Pizza in Main Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania. And then Tasty Freeze ice cream. Me and my son's been up there twice so far, just in the month of March. I love the tornado with the Oreo ice cream and vanilla in there. My son loves the ice cream up there. So check out Tasty Freeze. As I said many times, on a Friday early evening, get your Andy's Pizza, eat it, and then go get some dessert up Tasty Freeze. Not a far drive. So I would like to thank our sponsors, but we're going to bring on our next guest, Cora Castellani from Valley View. She had a great week this week. She had a walk-off hit in a key moment. So let's bring on Cora Castellani. Thank you for joining us, Cora.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You had an interesting week.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did.
A walk-off win, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I was listening to the game on Game Changer at work and audio with my headphones in and all that, and I'm thinking we could just get to Cora. I know your mentality. I know your work ethic. I know your no fear mentality. You just go after. If it's in basketball, you just go. You just do what is needed to get the job done. Same thing with softball. You're very competitive, and you have that mindset. As I mentioned before, I think if there's an article, something I used to tell myself when I was a teenager and I was much skinnier, like 100-pound lighter, right? And very athletic. Used to play backyard football games and different things, and I would make big plays and winning touchdowns against good athletes. I would say big players make big plays. I would say that in my head, self-talk, and then I found myself I'll make winning touchdowns, and it was something that motivates me. So there's always something about somebody, and I view you as that type of person where, like, you know what, I need to make this big play. So let's go back for a moment. So you're down to the final inning, game on the line. So talk about your mindset walking up to the plate at that moment.
So recently, my hitting hasn't been great. I've been popping up and just like standing up while I'm like mid swing. So I definitely knew that during that at bat, I needed to remember the little things that I needed to do to get a good hit off and make the hit that I did hit. And just pretty much just stay down in my legs and just have confidence in myself. And I ended up meeting the ball very well, and I ended up hitting a double and scoring 2 runs, and we ended up getting the win out of that.
So when was the moment you realized when you got that hit, you had a chance to win the game there?
At the corner of my eye, when I was running to first base, I saw our first runner score, and I was like, okay, well, that ties the game, so we definitely need one more run. And then I saw Ella Swingle rounding third to go home, and that's when just all the adrenaline hit that we were about to win the game on that hit. And then when I finally saw her score, I was just ecstatic, and I couldn't believe it. And I'm just really happy that we pulled out that win. It was a very ugly win, but we pulled out the win.
Yeah, it definitely was ugly. I was talking to your coach this week, and that's the word I use, ugly. But a win's a win. And early on in the season, what's important is you got the win.
Yes.
Now you got to take a step back, take a breather. There definitely was a lot of mistakes. I believe I wasn't at the game, but a lot of mistakes were made and some errors were made. Pitching, Abby didn't have a good game. So during the game, how was your team able to keep it together when things are going wrong? You're a defending state champion last year. you have a mark on you. Talk about that. The dugout. How was that?
Yeah, so we know this season that we definitely have every team coming at us this year, especially coming off of that state championship win. So we honestly we just tried to remember to stay confident, stay determined, and again just doing the little things, making the right play, good at bats, everything like that, and just to have confidence. That's the main thing. Like in the dugout, we're all cheering for each other, yelling all the way down to the last inning. And I would just say pretty much throughout that whole game is just to like never lose confidence no matter what. We obviously battled back. It like I said, it was ugly, but just to never lose confidence in the game, and that's really going to help you get through it.
I mean, Valley View has a lot of good, talented softball players.
Hmm.
It must feel pretty good to know you could count on all 9 players.
Definitely.
So this game had like everything, Cora. Big innings, lead changes, momentum both ways. What does it say about your team that no matter what happens, you kept fighting and you found a way to win? Early in the season, where things were ugly, things weren't going your way, I was kind of shocked that Pistonary was able to score that much runs against you girls, and it just was not a pretty game. How do you stay? How did you girls, stay focused?
Um, I would just say we obviously knew that we had to battle back and just leave everything out on the field no matter what, and just gave it everything we got the last few innings actually. But yeah, I would just to say stay determined and yeah, because we knew we could win that game definitely. We had a bad start in the beginning, so we definitely had to battle back. So again, just determination and confidence.
Was there ever talks like in the off season coming into the season, which me personally, I said Value could make the state championships last year. I said that back in March. This year, I'm still sticking to it. But before Value, you girls even get there, you have a long process, a lot of hard work ahead of you, and
Hmm.
got to focus and learn from your mistakes.
Hmm.
Um, so coming off a state championship win, you marked. How has the how has the locker room mindset changed, and what standard are you girls holding yourself to this year?
Yeah, so we definitely lost some girls that we had last year for that game. I miss a lot of them. But I think just the big thing this year is just to definitely stay humble and just play our game. Don't play up to anybody else's standards. We need to play to our standards because we know how good we could be. Yeah, I would just definitely say just being humble. We tell each other that every day. Just work hard at practices. And yeah, I would just say being humble and just working on the little things and just getting on the field at practice and just giving it 100% for the games especially.
So playing your game and staying focused and staying humble. That's
Hmm.
that's great thinking and great advice. That's for sure. Um, you had a player last year, Callie
Hmm.
Kowalski. I know you're
Hmm.
close to her. She's at Penn
Hmm.
State now. What
Yeah.
was it like having her as a teammate? And what did you learn from being around someone like her and competing at that level?
Yeah, she's one of my best friends. I love Callie so much. You could tell that we're definitely very good friends, not just on the field, but off the field, just like going for drives after the games or before the games, just having that good bond. So I really do admire that. But her on the field and off the field, she is just such a good leader. She's vocal. Everything about her just screams the type of player she is, and she should be at Penn State because she absolutely deserved every single part of that. But yeah, playing with her was just such a grateful moment, and I wish I could play with her more years right now, but unfortunately I can't. Things happen, obviously. But yeah, she was just such a great leader, so confident in herself at everything she did, and I really admired playing with her. I really was grateful.
Yeah, I got to know Callie a little bit. She was a great leader. She was
Hmm.
confident. She was a great human to talk to. She was
Yes.
nice, and she just carried herself differently than some people.
Yes.
And it doesn't surprise me, obviously, with her talent and the type of person she is, that she is at a top level college playing softball.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's for sure. Now you have leadership quality, I notice, and she does too. So being around her, has that helped you become a better leader, better person?
Yeah, it definitely has, and especially for this year with her not being there. I'm shortstop this year. I'm playing where she played. So yeah, just taking the little tips from her just to be a better player this year as well. I definitely admire that. Definitely.
You have played shortstop on other teams. Like
Yeah.
I was like obviously this is your first regular season game was this year. How is it playing shortstop for Valley View permanently right now?
Yeah, it's good. That's definitely my number one position coming into varsity softball. I had to start at second base, which I didn't have a problem with at all. Um, and yeah, it's definitely a difference. Just like the length of like throws you have to make to first base, stuff like that. I just have to get back in the groove of those things as this season comes on. But yeah, I'm happy to be there. Definitely.
Now there's another player. There's actually two more. You have Ella and Zoe, but I want to mention Abby. You know, Abby's going to Clemson. I got my Clemson gear on because I'm a Clemson fan.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited about that. Very
Yeah.
excited. Um, having someone in the lineup on your team sound like Abby. What's it like having a player on your team like her? And does her presence impact everyone around her? Like how is it having someone like her on your team?
Yeah, she's great. I'm grateful to have her on my team as well. She brings lots of confidence to the team as well with everything she does. Obviously, her pitching, her hitting, and everything else around that. Um, Playing games with her, you could tell that some people are definitely intimidated with her a little bit. Um, but again, just going back to the whole humble thing, just staying humble as a team and everything like that. But going back to Abby, yeah, she's so fun to be around. She's a funny person. She's also one of my good friends. I love being around her. I love being on the team with her, and yeah, I'm really grateful.
I'm going to throw this out there. Having in the past 2 years, 5 Division 1 recruits on
Hmm.
one team. That's a lot,
Yeah.
especially for this area. And usually you don't see stuff like that in top football programs usually throughout the area. I know football a little bit more, not the area,
Hmm.
state. I mean, where there's a lot of D1 recruits. And Mia, I got to know a little bit about her in the past
Hmm.
2 years. She's just a great coach. What's it like to play for someone like Mia?
She's great. I love her to death. She knows what she's talking about. She pumps us up every day. If you walk into practice or a game having a bad day, she instantly makes your day better as soon as you're around her. She's just a great human being in general, not just a coach. She's also a great human being. Yeah, I love being around her. I couldn't ask for a better coach, and yeah, I think everybody loves her.
When I always bring back my experience because I only could share my experience, nobody else. And my experience came in slow pitch softball. I made 3 league championships running a team and semifinals 3 other years. And what I learned in that lead was this was way different, obviously, but I don't think it's much different. I determined I used to do predictions like on my I don't know website, whatever Facebook page, whatever it was. But I always looked at who was the coach, and I knew what
Yeah.
they brought. I knew if they were recruiting, or by end of the regular season if they were going to be hot in playoffs. It was mostly the coach. Mia, I
Hmm.
greatly respect.
Yeah.
I do not believe value is done after this year or next year. As long as me is there, I believe that program is going to just get better and better and keep producing Division 1 athletes. And there's some young players that's I think in JV at junior high, they're going to be good. And I'm excited for what Value program is about to do in the future. Do you
Yeah,
feel the
me as
same thing?
well. Yeah.
So, I mean, you played on different teams, travel ball and different things. I mean, there's a lot of coaches you had are great coaches as well, but
Hmm.
everybody has their own thing. You may have answered this, maybe you didn't, but what separates those coaches from Mia? Like, what do you like about Mia? I mean, maybe
Um, I think the best part is you could be funny with her, you could be yourself around her, definitely, you could tell her anything, and like I said, she's hilarious, but she knows when to be serious during games and tell it to us how it is if there's something we need to fix or do, so yeah, I would just say being able to, like, be your full self and being able to tell her anything and just being comfortable with her, I would say that. She's definitely very trustworthy and stuff like that, yeah.
so. When did you start playing softball?
I started when I was young. I don't know exactly, like, what age, but it was definitely when I was younger. Yeah. I've been
You're
growing up just playing school ball and just travel ball, stuff like that, yeah.
you're a great basketball player. I love watching you play. Um,
Thank you.
you give 100%, and sure any coach would say this. If we had if a coach had 5 of you on the court, they'd be winning state championships. Just your heart, your competitiveness, your no fear mentality. You know, like I think next year we mentioned basketball briefly. I think they're going to be pretty good in basketball again. And the state playoff game you lost, I was kind of frustrated, and I was saying to myself, like, if Cora could do it, the other girls should be able to do it. You just show
Yeah.
up and you just play hard, and I think every coach could see that, and you play bigger. I think you play bigger than you really are, if that makes any sense in basketball. But do you think you're a better softball player or basketball player? That's my opinion. I don't know if it matters.
Um,
I'm not going to answer.
if I had to say, I would probably say basketball player. I admire basketball a little bit more than softball, but when I'm in softball season, I give it 100% as I would if it were basketball season. I'm not that type of person where I pick one
Mhm.
sport over the other and just not give as much effort in one. So I definitely love both of them almost equally, but I definitely do have that little bit more of passion for basketball. So I would definitely say basketball.
Yeah, I would say basketball too, since you said that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're definitely a good athlete, and
Thank
that's
you.
for sure. Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. And you're a great defensive player. I always I was in a gym lead. It was where it's the NEPA Fitness, I think now. It's called the Spectrum in the early 2000s up to like 2012 or 13. I had basketball teams in that lead, 4 years or whatever. And I was never disciplined at playing basketball because I never really played
Hmm.
in a high school team. So,
Hmm.
I would foul kind of a lot, but they let things go. But I always like playing defense regardless, you
Yeah.
know. But so I'm always a defensive person. And when people play defense and offense, I think it's just as important than offense. So,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
so Cora, thank you for taking your time to come on here. I know you're a busy person, and you have some games in softball, big games coming up in softball this week. You have Abington, which is going to be a great game. And I found out your No Pocono game was moved to April 11th at 1 p.m. That's my birthday. So
Really?
I, I'm putting
That's
in a
good.
I put in a personal day for Friday. I want to go see you girls play at 4:30, and then I'm going to go to the Mid Valley and Lakeland game, hopefully at 7 on Friday, April 10th. And then Saturday I might be at 2 or 3 games. Maybe I'll go to Holy Cross. I was planning on going. Their game at 11, and then maybe I'll take a trip up No Pocono.
Sounds good. Thank you.
No better place to be for my birthday.
Right?
That's how I feel. I keep myself busy. But yeah, thank you for coming on here, and
Thank you for
um,
having me. I appreciate it.
yep, and good luck on your season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Cora Castellani from Valley View, that we just talked to. They have some big games this week. They have Abington and some other games. So yeah, my name is Jerica Canning, and this is part one of the Hail Mary show. Welcome back to the Hail Mary show. This is part two. Thank you for joining us. We have another exciting episode in part two, so stay tuned. But before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsors. I would like to thank Tasty Freeze and Ice Cream up on Route 6 Carpenter Highway in Eining, Pennsylvania. And I would like to thank Andy's Pizza on Main Street in Peckville, Pennsylvania. If you like ice cream, go get ice cream at Tasty Freeze. You like pizza, go get pizza at Andy's Pizza. We thank our sponsors. We couldn't do the show without you. We couldn't exist even without you supporting us and supporting our local softball players. We definitely appreciate your time and your willingness. But but we're going to actually get started here. And below is our updated rankings of a top 10. We have a new number one team. It is Mid Valley. This week they are hot. They're on fire. And we moved Valley View to number two. They only played one game so far. So that's mostly the major changes there. So let's get started with some exciting games. one big game, we give props to West Scranton. They beat Hazelton 13-3. That was a great win for West Scranton. They were struggling the last few years, and they managed to get a big win there. So that was a number 5 game of the week last week. And then number 4 is Mid Valley over Piston Area. Although this game was played on Saturday, there wasn't much games played previously for the regular season. So we're going to take a hold of that game, included in this segment. So Mid Valley beat Piston Area. Ava Hazelton, only in her defense, only allowed 2 hits in that game. Good for Mid Valley. Carbondale and Lackawanna Trail, number 3 game of the week of last week. Carbondale won 22-11. That was a big game for Carbondale. Carbondale came out swinging, although Lackawanna Trail did have several errors, but I think it went on both sides. Carbondale had some errors. So I don't look at it that way. I look at the end of the day, how many runs did you score? And were you able to take advantage of errors and score and perform? And Carbondale came out swinging. They were hot. So props to Carbondale, who won 22-11 over Lackawanna Trail. Valley View and Pittston Area. That was a big game for more Pittston Area. Pittston Area had the lead majority of the game. They knocked out Valley View's pitcher, Abby Call, by second inning. She was on the bench. She was struggling with pitching and throwing a couple of rocks, and they had to bring in their backup pitcher and reliever, Grace Mungley, who got the job done. The game ended in dramatic fashion when Cora Castellani went up, down by 1, bottom 7, hits a double and knocks 2 runners in, and Valley View wins 12-11. Also in that game, Abby Call, Division I commit to Clemson, had 2 home runs, and Maggie Allett, the catcher, sophomore, had a home run. But big thing is Valley View pulled off. It was an ugly game played for Valley View. Valley View had errors. It really wasn't the type of team that I expected that day, but it was early in the season. Good thing they got it out of the way, and they're going to learn from it and improve. Lakeland Blue Ridge, another good game this past week. I thought Blue Ridge was going to win, but Lakeland showed up and shocked me. It went in extra innings. It went in 9 innings, in fact. It was a close game back and forth, and Lakeland ended up coming back, and in the bottom of the 9th inning, they had a walk-off hit from Camry Nanowitz. Hit it, an error or 2 went on there and knocked in a runner or 2, and they won the game 9-8. So we're going to continue on to this coming week's games of the week. This coming week, we have 5 games we picked that we think are going to be big key games. Still early in the season. You got to go with where you think games are going to be close and fought out among teams and when the rivalries and stuff. I know there's so many teams out there. We only get so much on there. It's only me doing it. So I'll do my best to bring more media attention to the other schools. But these are big games that's coming up this week. We got Lakeland and Carbondale, number 5, a rivalry game. It's going to be a good game. I believe it's going to be a good game, and yeah. I mean, Lakeland's coming off with 2 wins this week. They beat Forest City. They beat Blue Ridge. They did lose big to Holy Cross. And they lost to Mountain View 8-15. I mean, they could swing, they could score runs. Carbondale was coming off a 22-run performance against Lackawanna Chair, which I thought it was a shocker. My opinion, that was a big win, I think. I'm going to have to go with Carbondale with this one. I'm going to go with Carbondale to win this one. A number 4 game of the week. It's going to be Mid Valley versus Old Forge. I picked this one because Old Forge is a pretty decent team. Mid Valley is a good team. Mid Valley has a 3-1 record so far the runs scored. They scored 37 runs, average around 10 runs per game, allowed 16 runs. That's about 4 runs per game. They have an explosive offense, but can give up runs if pitching isn't locked in early. Old Forge has a 1-1 record. They played 2 teams outside of the district, outside of the area. They scored 19 runs total in the last 2 games. That's about 9.5, 9 runs per game. Runs allowed is 22. That's about 11 runs per game. Valley View has some hot hands and bats. Red Valley has a freshman shortstop who's really came off hot this past week. Angela Lestowski. Absolutely problem at the plate. She's batting a .643 so far. Mid Valley as a team is batting a .387. Then we have Avery Tinney. She's batting a .556. Then we have Abby Mackey, who's batting a .545. Parker Bennett batting a .400. Run producer. This lineup could hurt you. Then Old Forge has Cato Hearn batting a .500. Ava Honored batting a .500. Lily Listrinsky batting a .400. Key matchup. Mid Valley's averaging about 10 runs per game. Old Forge is allowing 3 runs per game. Mid Valley, can they limit big innings? I think they could. I am going to pick Mid Valley to win this one. Another number 3 game of the week is Mid Valley and Dunmore. Another rivalry. This one feels like a collision course early in the season. Mid Valley is coming in swinging one of the hottest bats in Lackawanna Conference, while Dunmore brings a lineup that could match punch for punch while they get rolling. But here's the storyline. Explosive offense versus battle-tested lineup. Momentum versus resilience. Mid Valley just dropped 18 runs in a shutout, while Dunmore has already shown they could bounce back after a loss with authority, a 15-0 win this past week. This isn't just a game. This is a tone setter. So this is going to be a very good game. Dunmore so far scored. We already went over Mid Valley's stats over the following week. This last game of the week, number 4. Dunmore has scored 44 runs, allowed 22 runs. They came off for a couple of big wins. They lost to Wallen Powerpack, which was a shocker, but Wallen Powerpack's a good team. Dunmore's Rachel Wash is batting a .632. She's having a good game, and a couple other players are batting above 500. So in this game, I'm going with Mid Valley to win it. Next game, we got Abington Heights and Holy Cross. This is going to be a good one. These are 2 powerhouses in our area. 2 powerhouses. Abington Heights doesn't get it easy because they have Valley View the day before. Another great team coming off defending state champs. This game, as well as Ace versus Ace, this got everything going. You got Abington Heights, 1-0, coming off a gritty extra inning road win led by Adrianna Conrad, who threw an absolute masterpiece game Saturday. She pitched 10 innings, 17 strikeouts, took over the game when it mattered the most. Holy Cross is coming off a 3-0 record. They haven't been just winning, they've been dominating. 17-1, 11-1, 15-1. That's not just winning, that's sending a message. It's going to be a good game. Obviously, Holy Cross played more games this past week. Some of the players to watch is going to be Aberdeen Heights. Adrianna Conrad, she's a Syracuse commit, a junior. Again, coming out for a 17 strikeout performance, a true ace, big game pitcher. Yeah, these are two good pitchers with Ava Schmidt as well, an ace. She has 19 strikeouts on the season in 14 innings. And then Jules Galella is hitting well for Holy Cross. This is gonna be a very good game. I think it's gonna come down to pitcher on pitcher. I'm going with Abington to win this one. And then our game of the week. Valley View versus number one game of the week, Valley View versus Abington. This is definitely a D1 versus D1 showdown, pitcher on pitcher. We got two Division One commits here. We got senior Abby Carver Valley View, who's committed to play softball for Clemson next year. You got junior Adrianna Conrad, a Syracuse commit, and looking to play for them in 2 years. Two future ACC level arms, two leaders, two competitors who don't just pitch, they control games. This is the kind of matchup you don't just watch, you could feel it. Another pitcher duel. Who wins this one? I mean, it's going to be a tough one. Each team only played one game so far. Valley View didn't look very impressive with some mistakes. And this past game, are they going to be a good team? Yes. I'm still sticking with my guns. They're going to be one of the top teams in the area by the midseason, the end of the season. Showing it and making a possible state championship run, maybe. But in this one, Abington already showed what they could do. And they beat a good team, Emmis, yesterday. And Valley View was struggling last week. It was a surprise. Who's the better team by end of the season? Probably be Valley View. But in this game, early on, Valley View has some work to do. I'm going with Abington to win this one. Sorry, Cougars. But I'm going with Abington. We're going to move on to a top 5 players of the week, top performers from this past week. We got Riley Grumble of Nopokno, quiet, consistency, producing. She's batting a .533 average, 8 hits, 2 doubles, 1 home run. Why is she number 5? Granville may not be the loudest name this week, but her bat has been steady and reliable every game. She finds gaps, she puts the ball in play, and she keeps innings alive. Key piece in the Nopokno lineup. High contact hitter who sets the tone offensively, forces defenses to stay engaged. Every lineup needs a hitter you could count on. Riley Granville is that player, and right now she's delivering every time. So that's our number 5 player of the week, ranked number 5. A number 4 player of the week is Olivia Locke from Lakeland. This is straight up power production. Weak stats, she's batting a .615, hits, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 home runs. I have on her. Why is she number 4 from last week? Locked in and just hit. She did damage every time she stepped in the box. Extra base hit after extra base hit. Gap shots, deep balls, game-changing swings. This is the kind of production that flips momentum instantly. Impact, one of the top power hitters in the area right now. Constant extra base threat. Can change a game in one swing. Some hitters get on. Olivia Locke clears the bases. And right now, pitchers are running out of places to throw to her. And that is our number 4 player of the week. Our number 3 player of the week is Rachel Walsh from Dunmore. Big hitter. This is production. This is pressure hitting. This is results. Weak stats, she's batting at .632, 12 hits, 8 RBIs, 5 run scores. Wash didn't just get hits. She delivered when it mattered most. Runners on, she crashed in. Big spot, she answered. She's been the heartbeat of Dunmore's offense early on. Driving runs, extending innings, and putting constant pressure on opposite pitchers. One of the top run producers in the conference right now. Clutch hitter in key moments, a player you don't want up when runners are on base. She's actually a good pitcher as well. She's one of the top pitchers in the area. You want sound at the plate when the game is on the line? Rachel Wash is that player because right now she's not missing those moments. That's Rachel Wash. Our number 2 player of the week, a freshman. We have to go with this. She's only a freshman starting varsity. She's a shortstop for Mid Valley. After four games, Angela Leskowski Leskowski. Yeah, this Angela Leskowski. I believe that's how I say her name. Week stats, she's batting a 6.43 as a freshman. 9 hits, 2 doubles, 1 home run. And those aren't just easy teams to play against. Mid Valley played some very good teams this past week, and they pulled out the wins. So they're not easy teams, and those stats are pretty good as a freshman, or in general, even just in the league, they're good. Why is she number 2? This Koski didn't just hit; she drove the ball with authority, gap power, extra base damage, and when the pitchers made a mistake, she made them pay. She's been the engine between and behind a Mid Valley offense is putting up numbers early. Impact, one of the most dangerous bats in the conference right now. That is true. Besides Drew's Galella, which we're going to get to in a moment. Combined power and consistency forces pitchers to change their entire approach. Some hitters get on base. Liskowski changes the scoreboard, and right now, every swing feels like she could flip a game. And now our number 1 player of this past week, big performer, is Holy Cross, Jules Galala. You might recognize that name. Her sister is Mia. She played last year. She's now at Boston College. Unfortunately, she had to take a medical red shirt this year because of an injury and surgery she got. But we recognize the Galala name at Holy Cross. This wasn't just a good week. She was in control at the plate. She had 8 hits, leads the team, 7 singles, 1 double. She's consistent contact every game. Why is she number 1, a top player of the week? Well, others flash power. Galella dominated with consistency. She set the tone at the top of the lineup, putting pressures on defenses, getting on base, and fueling a 3-0 Holy Cross start. No wasted bats, no easy outs, just pure discipline hitting. Impact, table setter for one of the hottest teams right now, besides Mid Valley, forces defenses stay locked in every pitch. The type of hitter that wins games without needing headlines. Some players swing for fences. Galella just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting. That's how you become the most dangerous player around the field. So these are our top 5 players of the game. And this is all we got for this episode. Good luck on the games of the week, those teams. We're gonna fill it in next week of who won and talk about other stuff. So thank you for joining us. If you like our content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. We even have TikTok and Instagram. Again, please be graceful. This is early on. We're trying some new things with this, and it takes a lot of work. So yeah, I'm Cherokee Kading, but I want to thank my sponsors. Our sponsors, once again, is Andy's Pizza, Main Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania, and Tasty Freeze, Scranton Carpenter Highway in Ironing, Pennsylvania. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. And next week, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be in Bimington covering the Bimington Bearcats softball game, a D1 program. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll be filling in some information on that next week. And thank you, and have a awesome night.